Another sunny day, and it sounds like there's a lot of planes floating around the area today for whatever reason. And with that in mind, what did I read today? With all the crazy news yesterday, how about today? It seems like overall it's still kind of crazy actually with the stuff that's going around the world. How about this first one anyways? Is everybody preparing for a war of sort? Apparently they say in Australia they're going to start using these new types of underwater drones. This one says Australia to deploy fleet of underwater attack drones dubbed Ghost Sharks. Australia will spend $1.1 billion on building dozens of locally developed underwater attack drones, Defense Minister Richard Marles said on Wednesday. The first of the stealthy long-range Ghost Sharks will be delivered to Australian Navy in January next year under a 5-year contract with Sydney-based Anduril, Australia. Marles said, Australia is leading the world in terms of autonomous underwater military capabilities, Marles told reporters in Sydney. And they sound like really deadly drones too. It says the large autonomous underwater vehicles will significantly boost Australia's undersea warfare capabilities, complementing a fleet of submarines powered with US nuclear technology, Marles said. The first of those submarines provided under the AUKUS partnership with the United States and Britain won't be delivered to Australia until 2032. And I guess you can see a picture of what I assume is this submarine per se. It almost looks like a missile of sort, huh? And according to this, it sounds like this may be a response to what other countries are doing. Like this one here says, a Chinese Navy flotilla conducted a live fire exercise in the sea between Australia and New Zealand in February in what was widely regarded as a demonstration of China's growing military reach. The flotilla almost completely circumnavigated Australia. The Chinese Navy rarely travels so far south. I wouldn't be surprised if actions like that actually pushed them to go ahead with this even further. And with that, a lot of countries are demanding counter-drone systems. So how about this one, where apparently there's a manufacturer of anti-drone systems called Curvetus, and they showed how they have a drone detection system which they updated in which they could actually see real time. For example, if somebody's flying an FPV drone, you can see their feed directly. So by the looks of it, they released this little snippet about it and some videos to show how it works. It says, our popular drone detection system, AZIMIUTH, has received a video channel interception function from the drone. Now, radio intelligence specialists can view the video footage captured by the drone during flight in a single window of the AZIMIUTH interface. And from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like it's restricted to one particular product, as it kind of implies that you could update like a firmware of sort by the sounds of it and have the feature on all of their devices, or a lot of them anyways. It makes you wonder whether or not this is actually more practical. If you're so concerned about drones flying in certain areas, have some kind of countermeasure like this where you can pretty much see exactly what they see and where they are. I would imagine that would help with any false flags too. Imagine intercepting just somebody flying for fun in a certain area and you can clearly see, okay, they're just getting like a view of this, or they're taking selfie shots, but then at the same time, I guess that's a little stretching it, huh? If people could just, quote, I guess, intercept your video, like law enforcement and so forth, like whenever they feel like it, because they suspect someone is doing something wrong, it would be no difference than, I guess, somebody, hacking into your phone or something like that. And there was a ton of news still everywhere today about that assassination in the US of a person named Charlie Kirk, as people were trying to find out who was the shooter. Apparently, they did release some pictures where they say this is the guy. From what I heard too, it sounded like they had videos of the guy, but they're not releasing it for whatever reason. I guess they don't want to interfere with things like the investigation. But then when this is released afterwards, it makes me wonder, that's kind of weird, isn't it? You might as well just release the video if this is actually the guy and you're asking the public for help. But what was actually interesting in this case was people's reactions. For example, some people were mourning it and then some people were cheering it. And that's kind of crazy in my opinion.
Charlie Kirk got shot and he's dead! Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in the States, grew a pair and went and shot somebody on the right side. Thank you, can we keep this up, please?
That is kind of disturbing too, honestly, if there's actually people celebrating this. I mean, you can disagree with people and all that, but this is not acceptable in my opinion in any single way. And some people actually got fired over their comments about it, which I thought was actually fascinating in terms of, let's just say, information. Apparently there was some analysts on the network MSNBC. The guy made a comment, I couldn't actually believe it, where when he got shot, he was implying, okay, they don't know what happened, for example, which is normal, but he implied where there's a possibility it could have just been somebody firing their gun out of celebration, I guess? Like people who support him? Like, are you crazy? You can see the comment here.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
So again, that one particular quote says, we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, so we have no idea about this. And as you can imagine, there was a ton of backlash over this, and apparently the MSNBC president issued a statement saying it was inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable, and apparently they, I guess, severed their relationship with the person as expected. I mean, that is a crazy comment to say. Are people really that biased, for example, when it comes to these political stuff, that's how they think?
And these guys are overhead. The rounds, yeah.
And yeah, there you go.
Jeff, what's your friend's last name?
Yes.
Super.
Yeah. All over, they all moved from our small town to London, down south, north. So a lot of them are going to be driving back next week to see them.
That's so nice.
With their kids. Lots of babies.
Right. See you guys later.